It's so nice being the boss. I intend to do very little today. But one of the things that I am absolutely going to do is govern myself accordingly, as I will not be spending any money today unless it is specifically with a verifiable Black-owned business. Okay? Now, I didn't say I was going on no fast, but I do not intend to spend any money today, with the exception of with Black-owned businesses. I'm not playing these games with these people. There are stupid, dangerous, ignorant, criminal people at the helm of our government right now who want to drive us into the abyss in order to implement martial law, to use the military against us, to install a king. Hell no. That's what the Second Amendment is for. And we've got to make sure as well that these corporations that are backing these wayward, crazy-ass Republicans don't get any of our money. Whatever state you live in, especially if it's a red state, dry it out. Dry it out. And after today, make sure that you govern yourself accordingly. Don't just spend your money frivolously, buying stuff that you don't need. So what, them kids is putting pressure on you? Tell them to get a job. But as long as it's you in your house, you govern yourselves accordingly. We have to come away from this indulgent consumer mentality. Keep your money in your pocket. Invest in property. Buy land. Stop buying stuff that depreciates as soon as you get it. Stop buying stuff you don't need every time you get a little piece of change in your pocket. That's why we are in the position that we're in. So today, start a new trend in your life. Everybody in your family needs to scale back. Stop being so wasteful. And make sure that you know where you're spending your money and who you are spending your money with. It's time to dry up the Republican Party and dry up these corporations and kick out of the 1%. Where's born, son? Yeah.
Black people just made a decision that white America never thought it will happen. And this one decision is about to bring the entire economy to its knees. Okay? So it is something that it's awakening. Okay? It's awakening and it's history. I may say it's a turning point because Black people globally has finally stepped into a new era, the era of economic power. And today, family, we are talking about the one thing that white America fears the most than protest. They fear than voting, more than marches. They fear Black people making an economic decision. Because when Black people move economically, the entire system shakes. You see? White America built an entire national structure based on two assumptions. First assumption is that Black people will always spend money inside the system. Number two is that Black people will never unify long enough to strategically pull that money out. And for the first time in the decades, that assumption is falling apart. Okay? That assumption is falling apart. This year, Black American quietly, collectively, and powerfully made a decision that they are not feeding a system that disrespect them. They are not feeding a system that kill them. They are not going to feed a system that lies to them. Okay? Now, this holiday season, they are talking about boycotting. Okay? They are talking about boycotting the economy. So, let's talk about something here. I want you to watch these videos first. When you watch this video, you are going to understand what Black Americans are trying to do. And if you are a Black American, tell me in the comment section, what exactly came in your mind so you think this is the best decision? Because for me, I endorse it 1000%. No more being the backbone of an economy that gives nothing back. No more being the engine of corporation that don't hire you, don't respect you, and exploit your culture. Okay? No more being the reason retail survives every December while some companies or same companies remain silent when black bodies are harmed. Let's watch these clips first and then we come back with the more commentary.
Many of us in the Black American community have decided that we are protesting with our dollars. We are choosing to support businesses that respect us, that do not support the felon in chief and white supremacy. But a lot of people continue to demonstrate that they do not have the bandwidth to understand the nuance of protesting economically. And quite frankly, many folk are showing their economic privilege on this app, denigrating people who go to Walmart and who continue to use Amazon. The bottom line is that the reason that Walmart particularly grew as quickly as it did was because it used cutthroat tactics in its pricing to put local grocery stores and mom and pop stores out of business. So in many rural areas and in many urban areas, if there is a Walmart, that is the only place that people can go to get their groceries and the essentials that they need. And there are many other factors that go into that. Not everyone has a car. Many people depend on public transportation. So it's not as easy for them to bypass Walmart and Target and I go elsewhere to get what I need. Good for you if you can do that. Not everybody can do that. And the fact that people fail to see that and instead denigrate folks for their decisions, it blows me away. Where is you all's compassion? And I mean very intelligent people on this app do it. Why are you at Walmart? Maybe because that's the only place that that person can go to get their groceries and their essentials that they need. Because if Walmart isn't there, which many communities are now facing because Walmart has closed over 100 stores, if Walmart is not there, they have no other option in terms of getting fresh groceries. Same thing with Amazon. Most of us use a product or service that directly or indirectly supports white supremacy and businesses that support the felon in chief. In our capitalist society, it is very difficult to get away from it. If you're on a smartphone, more than likely that business has supported the felon in chief. And if not, many of the components of your smartphone are sourced by exploited labor in places like China, Africa, and India. Do not let, again, other people shame you for doing what you need to do to survive in your choices. Black folk, I do believe that protesting with our $1.6 trillion is the most effective way to make our voices heard, but do what you can in your circumstance. If you can't avoid using Walmart and Amazon altogether, go for it, good for you. But many people cannot do it, and they should not be denigrated for that.
Let's start with the Black Christmas holiday boycott.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the propaganda that's been popping up around town and all around America, but there has been a call for a boycott for Black folks and folks in general to leave the commerce alone between Black Friday all the way to Christmas. Now, excuse my generation, right? But I thought Christmas was my time to show my girlfriend's family that I can take care of her materially, okay? So Randy, what am I supposed to do? What is the pathway forward with this new boycott for the holiday season?
Yeah, her family will understand. Let her know you can. Let her know you can go for the long game, not just showing out. Save yourself some coins.
Okay.
We need to deal with this. To do this boycott. It is the only way we really have true power in this country. If you think about it, that's what the bus boycotts were about, right? Money talks and BS walks. You got to talk the language that the white man understands. Okay? They don't give a damn about us marching. They don't give a damn about us singing. They don't give a damn about our petitions. They don't give a damn about our suffering. They don't. These little posts that I do, they don't give a damn. They don't give a damn about them. But if you hurt them in the wallet,
Yeah.
because they planning on making some money, that's their time when they make the most money in the year. And if we cut that out, then they'll start to pay attention, just like we did with Target.
Oh, and you know
hurt.
that man at Target did lose his job.
He didn't really lose his job. He's still up in the company. That was just so fake, some PR BS. Yeah.
Okay, so but on that line, though,
Yeah.
when I think about this holiday boycott, somebody who comes to mind, which I don't even understand how I got to this, defending this person, is Tabitha Brown.
Yes.
When the Target boycott came around, Tabitha Brown was online saying, hey, what about all the black folks who sell stuff at Target?
Yeah.
So I want to ask that same question as we talk about the boycott of the holiday season.
It's a fair question.
What about some of these black businesses who are dependent upon or even looking forward to the commerce of black folks during this holiday season? Are they collateral, or should we be finding some like secret underground way to still support these individuals? Or will they be all right?
Yes, and hopefully.
Okay. Okay.
So listen, I related to Tabitha Brown. Like, I have products that are sold on Amazon.com, in Target, and in Walmart. Real talk. And I have not been advertising them because, you know, at the end of the day, I want to do what's best for my people as a whole. And if we're only trying to just save a few, we as a community can never thrive, in my opinion.
Right.
Go to TabithaBrown.com or whatever her website is. Support. There's other ways to support her, and actually, she'll make more money
Doing it that way.
if we go direct sales to her. What they're saying about this boycott is not that we should not spend money whatsoever, but we should spend money with black businesses and small businesses.
Gotcha.
Which we should have been doing in the daggone first place, right?
Yeah.
So you know, we should try our best to think about, like, my jewelry's from
Yeah.
black-owned businesses. Try our best to say, where can we spend black? So hook your girlfriend up.
Oh, true. I
All
got
right,
you.
okay.
With some black-owned
Some
stuff.
black-owned stuff, 'cause
So
if-
whoever got them $80 shea butters, I'm coming to you, baby.
And she would appreciate them.
Yes, she
Yes,
would. Yes, she
yes.
would. I think I can get on board with this boycott. I always just want to be cognizant of the individuals who don't necessarily have a choice.
Right.
So the individuals who may be landlocked or even food desert locked, so they can only shop in certain places that we may be boycotting.
Yeah,
you know what's
online.
even real funny?
Online.
I'm also I'm also boycotting Amazon.
Yes.
Guess who just bought a major piece of my apartment complex?
Amazon.
So am I going to boycott the rent?
Right.
So I just want people to be cognizant of how they boycott, make sure they do it in the way that's best for them as an individual, but
absolutely.
also be thinking about, I actually heard somebody say this the other day, the privilege of the privileged people is that we get to speak for the people who are directly affected by some of these problems while not directly experiencing some of those direct problems. So you and I may not live in a food desert,
Right.
but we can speak to the passion of people who are in food deserts about how to lead those people
Real
along.
talk. And that's always been the understanding. And if to some of us boycott, it's usually enough. Like, what we've seen, it's been enough. It's powerful. And what some people have been doing, volunteer. You know, some people who live in a food desert go to Costco instead.
That's right.
I mean, it's not a black-owned place, and buy and carry the stuff. Take people to the store.
We need to cancel Christmas. And Black Americans, we have already talked about this months ago, about how we are protesting with our dollars. And that is our power. And I'm getting the sense that some of you all feel hopeless. Well, Rod, the corporations already control all of our lives. That's what they want you to think. We have been indoctrinated in capitalism to be consumers. But that is where our power lies, y'all, where we choose to spend our money. Let me give you all proof. I don't care about this man one way or the other, but Jimmy Kimmel. It wasn't too long ago that he was yanked off the air for criticizing the felon-in-chief. Do you know what all those white folks did? They didn't go out in the street and holding up signs. We protest what has happened to Jimmy Kimmel out in the street. What they did was they said, we're not spending our money with Disney. They canceled Disney vacations, including cruises, trips to Disneyland, Disney World. They canceled Disney Plus, ESPN, Hulu. Disney lost an estimated $6 billion in 1 week. Did you see how fast they reversed course? Oh no, wait, we love Jimmy Kimmel. It was all a misunderstanding and he is back on the air. That is the most recent proof I can give you that is how we make our voices heard. But I have young kids and it's Christmas. So now is the perfect time to teach your children what is truly important and not to grow up to be mindless consumers. And if you must buy them gifts, give them the gifts of knowledge through books. It doesn't matter what age there are. And there are Black authors that are writing books in almost every genre you can think of. Children's books, picture books, fantasy, science fiction, romance for older kids and young adults. And adults too. And stop giving in to all of the marketing hoopla that you are bombarded with. If we stay the course and hit all of these corporations in these next 2 quarters, the most important fiscal quarters of their year, we will see a reverse course of many, many things.
And while we're on task, go ahead and cancel Christmas. Go on and start that family chat and let them know that you're not exchanging gifts this year. Hopefully everybody in your family is on board. And I know you're thinking about the kids. Well, Facebook Marketplace. If you're going to buy something for somebody, buy something small and local. You know, support a small retailer. But it's going to be Red Friday for these folks this year. Someone called it that in my chat. It says it's not going to be Black Friday this year. It need to be Red Friday. And I agree 100%. Hashtag Red Friday. But it's a good opportunity to teach your kids that freedom ain't free. And it's a conversation that need to be had because, you know, somebody going to have to sacrifice and we going to have to fight for this shit. So here we are. And those retailers, they're going to know. I know they're sitting on inventory from last winter. And guess what? They're going to have that same inventory next winter. It's like, seriously, let's do this. There were Christmases I had as a kid where my mom didn't have any money. She made us sweet potato pies. And that was fine. You know, they were good. We were just as happy. We were like, who's in Whoville? And I think that's how it needs to be. You know, if you want to do something, switch it up a little bit. Do some community service. Spend some time, you know, serving in a soup kitchen as a family. Donate some money to like a homeless shelter. Help somebody else this year. Do something that really counts if you're going to do something. But if you buy some, please buy something small and local. Don't give these retailers nothing. We're not spending money. October, November, December, they make a whole lot of money off of us. And here's the time to teach them. We're not spending no money. Red Friday, cancel Christmas.
I'm done with marching. We're not marching anymore. The only thing that moves this society is racism and greed. Do not give your hard-earned money back to the people that want you in chains. Black people, we need to boycott. We need to disengage from Black Friday. Hear me again. We need to boycott Black Friday. Unless we are spending our money with Black-owned businesses, we need to boycott Black Friday and focus on definitely never shopping again at Walmart, Chick-fil-A, American Airlines, because they were some of the top donors of the Orange Man's campaign. Actions speak louder than words. You can create action in your everyday life, and I'm here to tell you how. Also, I've heard a lot of people from my last video talk to me about how we built up our society before only to have it burned down and torn apart by racist white people. Black Wall Street was thrown out there. Yes, we built societies in the past, beautiful communities. But what we did not do is protect those societies we built. We did not maintain the protection of what we built, and that is what needs to change. We're not going to talk about how we're going to accurately protect what we build online. We need to get out of the whole realm of telling our whole plan on the internet. We need to go back to the days where we grouped up and spoke in real life, in person. And that's going to take the communities that we come from. That's going to take the churches opening their doors for meetings. Wherever we can group up and meet in person and specifically talk about our strategies to protect our communities by policing the police and watching out for one another and having people walk through the neighborhood to make sure people are getting home safely. These things need to happen in person. I don't want anybody putting out strategies on how to protect our black businesses and our black schools on the internet. We need to do that in person. So we will organize and group up. If you want to group up for that. Stop marching. Group up to talk strategy. Group up in real life to talk strategy. Group up in real life to talk about how we're going to attack all of the problems in our community. We have to get serious and we have to get consistent. So to recap, there is no Black Friday. We're out. The only Black Friday I want to see people talking about is the fact that we're going to make it a point to go out and find black businesses on Black Friday to contribute to. Walmart, you're done. We boycott you. Chick-fil-A, we're done. We boycott you. You want us in chains? We'll put you out of business.
Welcome back. Now, every empire has a weak point. Rome fell because of political corruption. Britain fell because it overstretched itself. Colonial empire fell because oppressed people woke up. And you know the weak point of white America? The weak point of white America is that they never wanted black people to discover. The US economy depends on consistent, predictable black spending. Not white spending, not immigrant spending, but black spending. Now, let me say it again. Black spending is one of the most powerful economic forces in the United States. Okay? Every serious economist knows this. Politicians know this. Corporations know this. Black people, especially black Americans, move the entire cultural marketplace. You know? Black Americans, they determine fashion, they determine beauty standards, they determine music trends, they determine social media trends, they determine where global culture goes. Okay? But what white America tried to hide is that black people also determine cash flow. So, according to Professor Cloud Anderson, black Americans generate over $1.8 trillion in spending power every year. That's not pocket change. That is not small influence. That's a weapon. Okay? It's a weapon of black Americans. But just have the deeper truth. Dr. Anderson spoke about, even though black people generate trillions, okay, they own almost nothing in their communities. So that's by design. White America understood something before black Americans did. If you control where black dollars go, you control people. But today, shifting is happening and black people are waking up to new mindset. Okay? If black people control where dollars go, they control themselves. And that mindset is very dangerous. Not to black people, but that mindset is very dangerous to the system. And this is why white America is panicking, because people they thought would never unify. People they thought will never unite. They have just unified. People they believed will always be consumers just become strategists. People they believed will always react emotionally are now acting economically. So this is the first protest in American history where black people do not need to be on the streets. The protest is silent, powerful, mathematical. Okay? And mathematics scare white America more than any match. Okay? Now, black boycott hits so hard. It is reality. Black boycott hits so hard, especially this year. Because this year boycott is not the usual conversation where people say, let's stop black. Okay? Or let's shop black, or let's support each other. This year the boycott became the decision, not a suggestion. And I have come across videos, the videos I've played for you of black Americans talking about this. Okay? You know, white America ignored black suffering for too long. They thought black people would complain and move on. But people reached their breaking point. Okay? The economy is already fragile. Inflation is high, debt is high, corporations are shaky, retail is struggling, banks are nervous. The timing is perfect. It is perfect. And black Americans just realized their money is their their weapon. So you can suppress votes. You can manipulate districts. You can silence activists, but you cannot force people to spend money. Okay? And we have the power of social media too. Social media amplified the movement. I come across black creators, black thinkers, black scholars. Everybody pushed a unified message that don't spend your money where you are not respected. And unlike previous years, this message is spreading like fire. It is spreading like wildfire. And again, when you see the youth, they are leading the charge. Gen Zs and young millennials are the most economically conscious black generation in history. They are not emotionally consumers. They are international or intentional consumers. They are not buying for status. They are buying for purpose. Okay? They are not buying for status. And they have no fear of collapsing the system because they were born into a broken system, by the way. Okay? And here comes the Christmas boycott, the one that has the most. Let me tell you why the Christmas boycott is devastating for white America. Because every year the US economy depends on one thing: holiday spending. From November to December, companies make 40% of the annual profit. And this is almost half of the entire year income in just 2 months. And guess who are some of the biggest holiday consumers? They're black people. Not because black people are reckless, but because black people have bigger families, black people give gifts. They are givers. Black people support children. Black people travel. Black people uplift each other. They celebrate love. So holiday spending is cultural for black communities. And white America relies on that. Corporation rely on that. Retail chain rely on that. Okay? But this year, black people have said, you know what? No Christmas, no spending, no giving money to companies that won't say Black Lives Matter. You know, that means a lot to the economy. It means that fewer sales, fewer profits, fewer bonuses, fewer return laws, return shareholder. And it means a lot. Every CEO knows that if black people pull up or pull back during Christmas, the entire fourth quarter collapses. And it's already here. It's already collapsing. By the end of, maybe this week, several major retail chains, not this week, by the end of this November, this one, retail chains have reported lower than expected sales. Okay? So this is the first year many retailers have openly admitted they don't know if people will come or not. Meaning what? They know black people stopped showing up. Okay? They know. The daily spending sprees is where the real power lies. When black Americans decide no Starbucks, no Walmart, no Target, no Amazon, no fast fashion, no impulse purchase, that is what scares the system. Because daily spending is what keeps the wheels turning. Daily spending is what keeps capitalism alive. Daily spending is what pays the bills for billionaires. And black spending is not small. Professor Robert from Stanford University wrote in a book that if black Americans reduce their spending by even 10%, then the US economy will lose over $200 billion instantly. Instantly. That's not prediction. That's not history. It is simple math. And this year, the spending drop is not 10%. Economists are quietly whispering the drop is more than to be closer to 20% or even 25%. That's enough to trigger a recession. It's enough to trigger a layoff, a stock market dip. So this is why white Americans is panicking. They never imagined black people could make an economic decision together. They never imagined black people could hold back their dollars for this long. They never imagined black people had discipline. Okay? Because the system never respected black intelligence. They studied black behavior through stereotypes, but not through reality. And reality, when reality hits them on the face, is a panic. Okay? Now, family, this is the first time in American history that all forms of boycotting are happening at the same year. Holiday boycott, daily spending freeze, corporate boycott, cultural boycott, social influence boycott, black business privatization, youth-led economic awareness. This has never happened before. Not during the civil rights era, Jim Crow, Ferguson, or during Trump years. No, this is brand new. It's modern. It's unstoppable. White America knew how to respond to protest. They knew how to handle marches. They studied civil rights or civil disobedience. But when they cannot handle this, the collapse of their income. Money has no emotion. Money cannot be negotiated with. Money doesn't care about feelings. Money goes where it is respected. And black people are finally choosing respect. Or black people finally chose to respect their money. Okay? Now, tell me what you think on the comment section about this video. This moment is spiritual. It's not just economic. And we are unifying as black people, and something bigger is coming. Let's meet to the next episode. Peace out.